Y'all know I always be struggling to remember what to say. So I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and here I am finally doing it. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/ at two scrippers one pole. Join us on Patreon for exclusive behind the scenes footage of full episodes as well as poll play and two new segments, Toy Talk and Tales of a Sensual Dom. That's patreon.com/ two scrippers one pole. Join us on Instagram at two scrippers one pole and two scrippers one pole the pod, because sometimes Instagram be hating. And finally, don't forget to rack up all the toys to bust maximum nuts. Head on over to Balesa and use code BB2S1P nuts. Now let's get into some shit this week. Hey y'all. Okay. I am in the house. I think this camera's crooked. Honestly, I started this episode in the car. I think my camera's still crooked. That just kind of sets the tone for today. So I think I prefaced this in the car. I'm a little drunk. I'm not even gonna hold you. The Taylor Port, y'all. I just came back in the house. Shout out Mia. We went to Swingers Club in DC. That's mini golf for those who don't know. We didn't go to a swingers club, but beforehand, I had some Taylor Port. It's been a minute since I've been off the port. Um, and she kicked my ass. She did, like, really bad. And I'm in the house and it's thunderstorming outside. And yeah, I'm about to paint my toes. I got some things I want to talk about. And wait a minute, before I get started, my mom is actually the cutest. So I went to her house before I headed out to meet Mia because she had got me a birthday present. And she told me, well, she made me a birthday present because that's where I get my artistic side from. Shout out to my mama. Shout out to me and my artistic skill by my art. Um, so she had told me how she had got me a little something, and she actually made me, my mom makes a lot of the bracelets that I wear. If you're on Patreon, or like if you pay attention on the clips, or on like the mini sodes, a lot of the bracelets, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 bracelets, and I have 3 ankle bracelets. Out of my ankle bracelets, my mom bought me one when she went on a trip, and the other 2 she made. And then what did I count? Let me count again. I taught art, not math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of the ooh, my bad, y'all. Out of the 10 bracelets that I wear, she made me um 8 or 7 of them, I think, because I know one of them, this one that like you can adjust, it's like a I don't know what kind of, oh shit, damn it, oh my god, um I don't know what kind of bracelet this is, but on my last day of teaching, shout out to you, Kayla, um one of my first year students actually gave me a bracelet, and it says queen on it, so I wear that all the time. And then one day randomly, when I went to the park for one of my friends, she had a shout out Zainab. We did kickball, and these 2 little girls randomly came up with like handmade bracelets, and they gave me and Katie one, and I think they ended up coming back and giving like more people one. um but yeah, and I think one of these I might have gotten from the store, and I don't really know because I know my mom made some bracelets like this before, and I can't remember, but like I had a bracelet like this and it broke. So maybe she gave me this one. I don't know. That's besides the point. But I get my maker's skill from my mother. So she had made me, she's so freaking cute. She made me a bracelet that has like, oh, I don't, where is it? Do I have it? No, it's not right in my reach. But she made me a bracelet that's like teal and orange, which I love. That's my favorite set of complementary colors. So she made that for me. 'Cause she was like, I figured you just have like a bathing suit that matches it and like it gives cruise vibes. So it's like the bracelet is orange and blue beads, various sizes, and then she made some matching earrings that have like the same, like they're like turquoise. So it's like turquoise beads, and then she added like these like orange and blue feathers, kind like they're kind of orangish blue. She's like, I just feel like it's cruise vibes, and I just thought you might like it. So I was like, you know what, I'll come get it, because obviously my birthday was last week. And she was like, I just feel like it would be really cute on the cruise. So I was like, okay. Like with school and everything, I have not been able to really talk to or hang out with anybody. Like anything that I've done has been pre-planned. That's just kind of what it is. Like you gotta tell me a date, I'll tell you yes or no, and we go from there. So I was like, oh, okay, well, if you made it for me for the cruise because you thought you would see me by now, I'm gonna come get it. But anyway, I'm saying all of this to say she got me a card, and my mom always does. Like, I love cards, and she does always does a great job. And usually she'll give me like a serious card and a funny card. Like when I graduated undergrad, she got me a card that was, talking about just like there's so much strength in you, and you always put your best foot forward, blah blah blah, all this sappy stuff. And then one of the other cards was like it was like, oh my god, her brain's so big, or some shit like that. I still have it, but I'm not about to, oops, sorry y'all. I'm not about to try to go sift through it because I got shit to do. And I'm trying to record this before I finish doing said shit. So the card that she got me for my birthday this year. So for those of you watching, and maybe I'll put this in the story, but it says, daughter, you're a joy to be with. Your laugh is contagious. Your spirit is uplifting. And then when you open it, it says, you should have your own podcast. And then she wrote, oh, you already do. Happy birthday, love, mom. Like, she's so cute. This is adorable. Thanks, mom. I do have my own podcast. So, hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Two Scrippers, One Pole. That click, I'm like Lil Wayne. I am finishing my J that I started earlier. So, that's what that is. And because I'm talking, it just keeps like going in and out. So let me find my notes so I can try to stay. Where's my iPad? Because it was something specifically that I did want to talk about. But I wrote down the notes, y'all. I be trying. Is this not? Because they sometimes be. Is this it? Yeah. Oh, so last week I was talking about how I was going to charge $333 for like squirting videos, right? I've upped the ante. I decided $3,333.33. Why is okay, hold on, because is it I'm recording an episode, and so what are you doing? You sound busy. Oh, how long are you gonna be up? Okay, I'll call you back when I finish recording. I'm gonna send you the way you said text, you sound kind of country. But I got you. Well, if you're okay, well, if I call you twice, then it'll end. I don't know. I'll fuck it. I'll hit you. All right. Yeah, that was. If y'all ain't pick up on that, for those of y'all listening, that was Juan. Shout out him. I miss you, friend. But um, yeah, I upped the ante, right? So this past August, I took Mistress Marley's Findom Boot Camp. And I'm not going to talk too much about it just because I be trying to watch what I say, and this isn't in a bad way, but I be trying to watch what I say because, like, obviously I'm in the public eye, and I have my foot in the door in so many different ways, and I don't really know who's watching. But I say all that to say is that, like, I don't want to give too much because I don't want to get sued. At the end of the day, I don't want to get sued, and I don't want to, like, say certain things, and then it turns out that, like, I wasn't supposed to say that. But if you're interested in becoming a dominatrix, a pro dominatrix, or if you're interested in financial dominatrix, financial, fucking words, financial domination, I will die on the hill. I definitely recommend Patreon courses, self-paced. You can pay as little as $5.38 a month, and you get access to certain stuff in, and then go from there. So that's what I did. My experience, I was like, I saw her in New York, and I wanted to follow it. I reached out to her to kind of get, like, because I was like, I don't want to just spend money blindly and I don't know what I'm getting because it's like different courses. So I had reached out to her and I was like, I'm interested in foot fetish and ignore fetish to be specific, and I'm just trying to figure out which course would be best to do because it's like a $5, there's a $10, and I think there's a $20. But there's also different categories within, so there's like several different $5, several different $10, and then several different $20. And I'm balling on a budget. So she told me which one to pick, and it's self-paced. So I was just kind of like doing my own research here and there, setting up profiles that I needed to, and I thought it was good information. I was learning more, and I was like, I would be interested in doing like an actual intensive, not one. I didn't do the one-on-one because I was just like, well, I really don't have the money for that. But like now that I've done the Findom boot camp, I had got like a late ticket. So I think I paid for 4 weeks. I think I paid like 150, which still wasn't bad with as much information I got, and like just like the extra benefits of that. And then now that I've done that, and I'm also a lot more because the biggest thing that I was struggling with personally was just like the content creation piece. And I said this before. I think actually, let me pull up my. Sorry, y'all, all that noise. Let me pull up my iPad because if anybody is interested, I'd want to give as accurate as information. What the fuck? As accurate information as I can. Swingling party, and that was my. Whoa. Okay. Hey, Deshaun. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Fat fingers. I'm trying to see what episode it was that I kind of mentioned. I feel like it was Minisode 12. No, it wasn't Minisode 12. It was Minisode 11 where I was talking about sex work, and I really don't remember. I lost my sentence in the middle of my sentence per usual, so I really don't remember what I was even saying with that. Yeah, I really forgot what I just said. That's crazy. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. That's actually crazy. But yeah. So if anybody is interested in financial domination, I 10 out of 10 will recommend her courses. Um, and yeah, like even I feel like even if you don't end up going deeper into it, like $5.30 a month is not bad to just get your foot in the door and see like what you would possibly be getting into. Oh, I think that's what I was talking about. Like I had been doing that, doing the research, trying to figure out like what kinks am I actually interested in personally, but also what would I be comfortable doing for someone else. Um, so giving, not necessarily receiving, or topping instead of bottoming. So I did all of that. And the one part that I just couldn't really grasp my head around was like the content creation piece. So that's where I was at. So I had mentioned this in Minisode 11, is that like you are a content creator because you have to market yourself. So you're making different type of videos that are catering to different fetishes. Fetishes. I feel like that's not a word, but it could be the Taylor Port talking. But different fetishes. Yeah, that's right. What am I talking about? Um, And yeah, so that was the part that I just didn't understand. Like, how do I make content? What is my content centered around? So the Findom boot camp really helped me with that. She has a whole bunch of stuff on like branding, building your brand, content creation, like just having the confidence to step in this space and own you and who you are, and like owning your brand. And then also like how to even, okay, you're here, you have all this stuff, but like how do you actually carry on the conversation, or what does like, you know, continuation of like building your brain of like not brain brand. Yeah, so I say all that to say highly recommend. But yeah, part of the conversation was like, you know, setting price as an entrepreneur, business owner. Setting price is always is a creator, setting price is always the hard part, because it's like, am I charging too little, am I charging too much? You try to compare yourself to other people and what their price is looking like, or like what they're doing, but at the end of the day, your price is your price, and I promise you somebody's gonna pay it. It might not be today, it may not be tomorrow. It's just, when you look at everything overall, somebody out there is gonna pay it. So if you set it, just what you have to think about is like, you, how much work did you put into it? How much did it actually cost you to produce whatever it is? And then honestly, truly, you got to kind of have a conversation in yourself of like, how much am I worth? How much energy or skill did I put into this, right? Um so know your worth and add tax. Shout out to her. So I had said originally $333.32, and then I said $3,333.33. Why? Because motherfuckers literally just tip people $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $20,000. So what's not to say? And so it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, it might not be next month, it might not be next year. But I'm putting that price tag on it because really, I just don't want, like I said last week, I just don't want your everyday nigga seeing my pussy. And if you willing to pay for it, I'll take your money. Um, that's that on that. And also, so the reason why the 333s, like, I'm just following threes. I've noticed that number. It's a couple other number. Ooh, I just cracked my neck, and I don't know if y'all heard that. It kind of hurt, but it felt good at the same damn time. I'm following threes right now. It's just the number that I've noticed, like, in a lot of personal numbers. Um, I've seen threes, and I've seen some other numbers, but I'm not gonna say too much because, I always be saying people be listening. I don't want y'all to be listening too hard and y'all be trying to steal my identity. But like, also, you don't want to steal my identity because realistically, I'm not shit. And that's that. My boobs look great. And also, like, it's not sweat, it's raindrops on my chest. So it looks like I'm glistening. But really, I'm just hot as shit. Um, so I'm just following the pattern of threes, and I've always noticed I just always been drawn to threes, so I'm just going with that. I'm trying to listen to that. Shout out Jessie Reyes, cause her number's 11, and she's following 11, so I'm following threes. Um, Podcasting. So I have this written down. A couple things about cod pasting. I like that word. We cod pasting, baby. So, um, I had a couple of things I wanted to say about this, so let's see how well I remember that. But one of them, I put content creator versus life, and so I I be like, I keep telling myself I'm going to record ahead of time. And it was easier like when I was doing it with somebody else, right? Because it was conversations. It's just natural conversations that I have with people. That's how this started. And that's what I want to continue. And I didn't really see it becoming me doing it by myself. But now that I think everything happens for a reason, and that's no shade at all, but I do think that everything happens for a reason, and realistically, like, I'm just not in a space right now to be able to do this with somebody else, because it's been the beauty of like, oh, okay, well, I know I have an episode consistency piece. I know I have an episode coming up, but I also need to take some time to myself or do this or do that. So I can record an episode in my car. I can record an episode at the park. I can record wherever I need to record, because I don't have to match with anybody else's schedule. And as much as I be telling y'all to write or send stories, questions, and topics to Two Scrippers One Poll, or join Patreon, or do whatever else I be telling y'all to do, and y'all just be ignoring me because I guess it's fun and y'all just like hearing my voice. Clearly, y'all like hearing my voice because y'all back here every motherfucking week. But I digress. Shit, I went on this whole fucking tangent cursing y'all out, and I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Yeah, so like, I be calling out. I think my toes are falling asleep because I had so much aggression just now saying that I like clenched my toes. And so I have to wiggle them a little bit to wake them back up. But I be trying to call on y'all, and y'all be half-ass participating, but I get it. And at the end of the day, I don't have to truly consider anybody else's schedule, feelings, or whatever about whatever I talk about, because now it is mine and I do what is suiting me right now. So that's one thing. Like, because people be like, oh, well, and when it first happened, I was like, Two Scrippers One Poll, like it's supposed to be two of us and it's only me, and it just don't make sense. But obviously, once it got started, I was like, I'm gonna just stick with Two Scrippers One Poll because I'm not gonna change it. But people have been like, oh, well, are you going to get a co-host? Are you going to get a co-host? And it started out with like, oh, I'm going to have Juan, my cousin, and Big Tao as like my rotational host. And for the most part, my cousin has been featured in several episodes. And then, Juan, Life Be Life, and Tao, I hang out with her all the time. But we just like, we be saying we're going to record and then it just don't happen. And so that was the other piece that I wanted to like bring up, is just like, sometimes like I be finding myself in this weird space of like I'm having a conversation, because this is like I mean essentially a podcast is a conversation. Either, I guess in this case, I'm technically talking to myself, but I'm talking to y'all who are listening. But it's a conversation, and sometimes they're more focused, and this one is just kind of like I always say, you get what the fuck I give you. And so I'll find myself having conversations with lots of people. And in my head, I'll be like, oh my God, this will be such a good episode. Like, I love this. And I'll have conversations about being a financial dominatrix. I'll have conversations about art therapy. I'll have conversations about life. I'll have so many conversations about things that are relevant to this podcast. And I just be like, ooh, I want to record this. But then I have to remember, like, when it comes, if I remember this conversation, or when the time comes, like, it'll be the time to record it. I want to have genuine conversations as they come, and I don't want anybody in my life to feel like they're content, right? So I have the piece of like, oh, doing this by myself was like daunting at first, but it's like a bittersweet feeling. And then the I don't want people to feel like I'm using them for the sake of content. And I just want things to feel genuine always. Like, authenticity is so important. It's one of my values. And then the other piece is like, on, I guess, maybe, oh, my neck, I gotta crack it. No, I already cracked it. Okay. Maybe on the receiving tip. I don't really know what it would be considered, but people coming to me saying how, oh, I want to be on the episode, I want to be this, I want to be that, and I'm like, that's cool and all. I'm more than open to having people come, because it's conversation based, so if I feel like we can have a good conversation. But also, with that being said, like, I'm not just about to have any everybody on here. Just because I have a show doesn't mean I'm about, like, I don't want to record every single thing. So for the people that be like, oh, I want to be, oh, I wasn't on the episode, or I want to be on the episode, I want to be on the episode. The other thing that I've noticed is that, like, a lot of times the people that do that don't even be listening. So you keep talking about how you want to be on my platform, which is crazy to say to me. Like, it's weird saying certain things out loud, because I do like to think of myself as humble, and as humble as I try, I gotta be, and self-aware. But like, being okay, so I'm self-aware, and that helps me acknowledge certain things that are to my advantage or in my favor. But also saying that out loud feels kind of like obnoxious and just like, oh, full of yourself and conceited. But it's just like, I mean, I recognize things for what they are. But anyway, back to my original thought. Yeah, like, I've noticed a lot of times, and I could be wrong, maybe they just don't talk about it in a certain way, but it's not that it's like, I don't want you to just, like, every second of the day, like, you just bringing up my podcast to me, because, like, okay, cool, thank you for the support, I appreciate it, so much. But like, I also don't, like, I know that you listen. I don't know. I'm more than my podcast, is what I'm getting at. And it's like certain people that just, like, every chance they get, oh, I'm trying to be on a podcast, I'm trying to be on a podcast, I'm trying to be on a podcast. And some of those people, I think you would be a great fit for the podcast. I do. I think that we have some things in common. There's some conversations that we could definitely have, but I don't actually see you supporting. I don't see your support anywhere besides you saying, oh, I'm trying to be on your podcast. Because what you're not about to do is get free clout off of me. Like, it's one thing if, like, I shout you out on my own accord or whatever the case may be. But, like, for you to just keep saying, like, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this. And I don't really even see any effort from you besides I'm trying to do this. It's just kind of like, I got questions. Um, yeah. Y'all, so tell me why the fuck. So my high school, wow, coming up on 10 years. But my orientation for my grad school program. So it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. And they were walking us through, like, the student handbook and everything. And y'all, why the fuck is an 84 an F? I said, oh, put me in another program, because what the hell is this? So I had a very visceral, audible reaction, and my professor explained it to me that basically, like, what it is. I'm about to start doing my toes, because y'all know I'm gonna be on a boat, and I need to be cute. My toes gotta look scrumdiddlyumptious. So that's me getting the cotton ball. I really should have got some cuticle oil. I can't even see. Let me turn this light on, because I can't see shit. Let me move this closer to me. So my professor was talking about how, I really can't even see that well. The reason why the grading scale is so low, or maybe high, well, the reason why F is at 84 is because the way the program works, because it's a grad program, I can't get less than a 3.0. And I'm only taking 60 credits, which I believe of, like, a bachelor's degree, I think it's like you need a minimum of 120. So I'm getting like half of the credits I need. So you have less courses to do the average. And if you get anything that is below, so you get, like, it goes from A, B to F. And if you get anything that's lower than a B, then it's gonna be really hard for you to actually pass, or to graduate the program with a 3.0. And so the reason why they made that an F is because Did I say this already? I don't know. Well, I'm saying it again. The reason why they made it an F is because it allows you to be able to retake the course. So if I got a C or a D, that would be stuck on my transcript. And if you get an F, then you're able to retake it. And we're only allowed one F in the program. So I had part of the reason why I had such a visceral response was because when I was taking photography alongside my ethics class this summer, I thought I was going to end up getting a C in photography, and I was like, damn, I'm getting a C in a class that I need, but like it's not technically a part of my program because I could have taken photography, mixed media, and I think ceramics. Like I need to take two out of the three. So theoretically, photography wasn't really mandatory or necessary. So I'm like, damn, I almost fumbled the bag, but I ended up getting an A in both. Um, yeah, so that really took me off guard. Um, and speaking of my orientation, hold on, let me go get this piece. Um, so that whole week, like leading up to school and my actual first week of school, it was exciting. I had so much fun. Like I've said, I love learning. I love school. I love my program. Both my internship and like my actual program are amazing. And so I've been on like a high for that reason. But the day, or I guess the night of my internship, um, I found out that one of my friends overdosed. And I had been dealing with that really for the past week, and I'm okay. Like I've talked about death openly on many episodes before, and I'm just kind of at the point, fortunately, but unfortunately, like I'm so sorry that I've had to lose so many people to get to this point. And I think it's having lost so many people, and I'm actually coming up on a year where I almost lost my life in a car accident back to back. Um, so having lost so many people and coming so close to death myself, so on top of each other, I'm not numb, but I've just accepted it for what it is. Um, so I say all of that to say that I can I feel like my processing is much faster because I understand how I process death. Um, and so it happened. I found out. I I got an inkling that it happened the night of my orientation, and then it was confirmed the next morning. So I was kind of processing that, and then my birthday, I went out to karaoke. Thank you to everybody that came out. I had a fucking blast. I'm actually surprised I didn't lose my voice because I was when y'all thought it when me was younger, you were my boo. And that's not even a song that I sung, but y'all know I love Usher, and I will die on a hill that Usher is amazing. But I think I sung like Justin Timberlake's Senorita. I ended the night with Kealicious. I ended the night with Fergalicious. But I did like this little speech because when I was in elementary school, which I had no fucking business on MySpace in elementary school, but that was back when, like, you know, you had the websites where you could get like a code for your profile. So I had, and you know, you had like a song. So I usually would have, I think my very first profile was Chris Brown Poppin'. So I had a Chris Brown Poppin' background, and I had the song. And then I think I switched over to Fergalicious. Cause when I first made my MySpace, I was using my mom's account, And then I switched over to I had made my own account, and I had Fergalicious, a Fergie background, and Fergalicious as my profile page. And then I made an email, Kialicious, and Kialicious just kind of stuck from there. So that's when the original, like, I've always been a bad bitch. But when Kialicious came about, that's when it really was just like, I'm destined for greatness. And here I am. So I did a little speech because I'm sappy, and I sung that. It was a great time. So again, thank you to everybody that came out. And then my friends was picking songs, and I wasn't singing. I was screaming. Usually my go-to karaoke song is "And I'm Telling You" by Jennifer Hudson. But I did not sing that. Nobody sung that. And also, so I went to Live K at the Wharf, and that's my second time going. The first time I went for somebody else's party, which is where I got the idea from. And then I got there a little bit late because I had went to like a class, and then when the party was over, me and Tal stayed, and we just like sat at the main bar and sang. And that, I actually meant to like make an episode about that because that shit was weird. It was like these younger people, and they were younger than 25, but they were adults because you have to be at least 21 to get in there, I think, after a certain time. So they were just being really weird with like hogging the music and making smart comments, and I don't know. So it was a weird vibe, but me and Ty was like, listen, we paid, we here, we monitor, which we didn't even, because it's free to do the karaoke in like the main room. So yeah, it was just weird. But that was the first time I went. So then that's where I got the idea. And I've seen people like go before. So I got the idea to do that. I don't know if I would do it again though, because just ironically that day traffic was a shit show. So my reservation was from 8 to 10 because they give you 2 hours and you have up until 5 minutes afterwards to get out, or they charge you additional time. So it was supposed to start at 8, from 8 to 9. And then when I got there, it was literally like me, um, me and Dixie, because Dixie came with me. Shout out to you, Caramel. Caramel came with me. She was there. And so she got there. I don't know if she got there like right before us or right after us. And then my cousin came, and then everybody else just kind of started trickling in. But because majority of my party wasn't there, luckily nobody reserved the space after us, so I was able to push it back. So I was thinking like, oh, okay, like a lot of people said they were on their way, um and so I pushed it back to 8:30. But some people didn't even get there till like 9, and some people didn't even get there till 9:30. um so it was like, one person might not have got there till close to 10. But anyway, I say all that to say they kicked us out around 10:30. So that's the only thing, is like, if you're going to do it, like, really try to think about a time. And obviously I couldn't have truly predicted, but because the wharf is so busy down there, just like look ahead of time and see like what's supposed to be going on, because traffic was a nightmare. Like, we were stuck in traffic, and then there was traffic in the garage. I didn't even want to park in a garage, and usually I will park on the street before I park in a garage. But we were already running late, because I think it usually takes me like maybe like 25 to 35 minutes to get down to the wharf from where I live. And I had to go pick up Dixie. And so from there, it took us, if not an hour, definitely almost an hour. Y'all, I want some dick. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, it's a couple things that's holding me back from making a call to get some dick. One of them being, I I've been growing my hair out. I haven't gotten a wax in like fucking forever. And I'm just at a point where this shit just looks crazy. Like, I really need to hire a landscaper. And so a couple weeks ago, I kind of convinced myself that I was just gonna like pluck the hairs out. it wasn't a couple weeks ago. It was more like whenever the shit happened with my car. So that was like a month ago. But I convinced myself I was just going to like hand pluck everything out. And I made it very far down my area, my vulva ish area. I don't actually know the name of this part, but I don't think that part's called the vulva. But anyway, the top half of my parts, I plucked it down till it got to like the really sensitive area, and everything was great. And then I started getting like really bad ingrown hairs, which I was like, that's crazy because that don't normally happen. But so I have really been trying to like leave that area alone so that it can just kind of process itself. And so it just grew like nobody's business, and it was looking crazy. But I was like, I really don't want to shave because it's been so long. It's been a while since I've shaved. I haven't got a wax in. I haven't gotten a wax for a couple reasons, because it's been it's been so long since I've got it. I know it's gonna hurt, and two, I just don't like. I had to cut things from my budget, and that's not part of my budget. Um, so I say all that to say my hair was getting long, so I took some pair of scissors and I trimmed it down. But I was like, all right, it still look crazy, and I'm gonna be running around on this boat with the bikinis on, and I can't just be having the bush come out. Like I can, but that's not. Kudos to you if you're a bush person, but I'm not. So, um, that is part of the reason why I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna try to get no dick. And two, the other reason again, because like I said, I'm still figuring out this celibacy thing. But that's not like a huge factor, because again, like the biggest thing for me is I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate the conversation, but it's crazy because I was just talking to my friend about and she was telling me about how she was missing a person in their life, and she feels like she's always the biggest person, but like she's really hurting. And I was like, well, at the end of the day, the worst that can happen is somebody says no, and once somebody says no, you gotta pick it up and move from there. And like you can kind of you as best you can kind of figure out for yourself, like, well, if they say yes or if they're receptive of what I have to say, you can take that and figure out what's a possible solution from there. Or they say no, and you take that and you figure out a possible solution from there. But either way, you're never really going to know how that's going to go until you approach the situation. And it might not even look how you envisioned it. Like you might have thought like, okay, A or B is gonna happen, but really C happens. So the longer you sit on it, the more anxious the situation becomes, and depending on the context of the situation, it could potentially get worse. So I say all that to say is like, I'm still figuring out what exactly that looks like for me, because I'm trying to figure out how to navigate a certain conversation that really I just need to fucking go out and have. Um, so that's why I don't got no dick, cause I'm still flippy floppy, and it's a fucking forest down here. Like this shit, haha. And my car's name is Forest. It looks insane, and I just don't think that anybody should be near my parts when it looks this crazy. Somebody call PETA, because it is definitely animal abuse down there. Um, but I said that, and what was I talking about? I was talking about death. That's crazy. Um, so I was talking about karaoke, but I brought that up because of death. So, yeah, I had a weird experience the first time I went, but then I was like, the only time I would go back is renting my own room. But now that I've rented my own room, I I would have to look more into if it's really worth it. But like, I definitely don't like just like the free for all karaoke. So, you know, I back in 2020, I had planned this whole birthday party. There was that was still the thick of COVID, and things were uncertain, and there were restrictions on everything. So I was supposed to have, this is really close, sorry y'all. I was supposed to have a pool party. Ooh, hold on, because it say it's recording, but my screen locked. Okay, I was supposed to have a pool party, but then the days leading up to it, it was calling for a thunderstorm. And y'all, when I say I was really breaking my back trying to plan this party, um, and I almost spent like $600, which first of all, $600 that I didn't even have, and I wasn't even asking nobody to put up for that. Like, I was just doing it because I was like, oh, well, it's supposed to be like 25 people, and I want this, and I want that, and I want these people, and I'm trying to be considerate of, like, I got friends that are pescatarians, I got friends that are vegetarians, so I need to make sure that I have this, and I want to have this, that, and a third. Like, I will never do that shit again because I was really stressed out. And so, as mad as I was as that pool party didn't happen, it put it was a catalyst for like how I celebrate my birthday now. But I had did all of that shit for it to not even work out. And then when I changed my plans, no longer from a pool party to an event that like people had to pay for, I started noticing like some people, oh, you was free this day, but now you're not free no more, that I'm doing this and I'm asking you to like put money up. So it was part of that. And I just found that like whenever it's always other people, oh, what are you doing for your birthday, what are you doing for your birthday, and they stress me out about it. And I'm like, I can't do that no more. I'm not willing to do that no more. So that happened 2020. And then 2021, I had like a cookout for my birthday. And that's when I had asked people, it was still COVID happening and school and COVID still happening now. But you know what I mean? Like, it was still pretty like kind of thick. And school has started. So I had asked people to contribute because I did like an at-home brunch, and I had asked them to send me, I think, like $25, which is cheaper than a regular brunch. And I went and got like a whole bunch of champagne bottles from Lax. And I had went to Costco and bought like different breakfast foods and stuff, and I set up like a little waffle bar and just like a whole, I cooked and made drinks and everything, and we were in the backyard of one of my friends' houses, and it was lit. So I had a good time then. Still had a little bit of stress because I was still having to organize stuff. um so then 2022, I didn't do anything really. I had, my birthday was on a Tuesday. I went out to lunch with my mom, and then me and Katie went out to dinner. And last year was also the first year that my birthday did not, I wasn't like I didn't have anything to do with school. I wasn't teaching, I wasn't in class. So I could do whatever I wanted to do, but I realistically I wasn't really in a space to do anything because I wasn't really talking to anybody because I was still financially recovering, um and I was still emotionally recovering because of that breakup. So um yeah. So this year, with my birthday being on a Wednesday, and with um me being in school, I definitely wasn't pressed. So I had people like, "Oh, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday?" And I'm just like, So I was like, I might do a dinner, I might do karaoke, but even then, realistically, it was more so me doing it because everybody else just kept asking me like, "Oh, let me know your birthday plans. What you doing for your birthday?" Not because I cared to do anything. So, um, then I found out that my friend had passed, and his viewing, he is Hispanic. He was Hispanic. His family is Hispanic. And I don't know like how universal this is, but I have another friend who passed away in 2019, and he was also Hispanic, or his family was also Hispanic. So they did it the same way. So I don't know if it's like part of the culture, but it was basically like the viewing of their body was the night before the burial from like 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. So my friends was 8:30 to 9, and my reservation was, it was 8 to 9, but it ended up being 8. No, it was 8 to 10. So it ended up being 8:30 to 10:30. So that's besides the point. everybody was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to karaoke, and then I'm going to like view my friend. And people just kept asking me what I was doing, and I was like, I'm going to view my friend, and then I have a funeral in the morning. And it's not that I don't care to do anything, but like, as far as I was concerned, I did what I needed to do, and I feel like my birthday was celebrated. So everybody kept asking me, and I was like, well, I'm not opposed to like going out and continue to celebrate, but I'm not doing the work. Like, y'all are the ones that want to go out, and I'm down with the shit, but I'm not stressing myself out to go do something because I did what I felt, was sufficient. Um, and so I bring that all up to say that, where's my iPad so I can look it up? Um, I just I've said many times, I've been taking note of patterns that occur. Um and for the past couple of weeks, and especially since my friend passed away, um I've noticed a lot of bees have just like I've been sitting on my porch, and that's actually, I start a sentence and then I lose my sentence mid thought. But was it was last week's minisode. I had wanted to do it on the balcony, but a bee kept coming and bothering my leg. And I think I had said, because, I was going to do it outside, but it was hot. But that was the real reason. A bee was harassing me. But I put that on the video. For those of you who listen on or who watch the minisodes on YouTube, you already saw that. But for those of you who are like, I'm a listener, that's it, that's all it'll ever be, I respect it. But I had did the episode inside because the bee kept harassing me, and I've noticed whenever I sit on my balcony, I really be minding my business, and then a bee will come and it will not leave me alone. Um, and then when I was editing another episode, I've actually realized that this has been happening for a while. And then when we buried my friend, after we buried him, we popped a bottle over his grave, his favorite bottle, or not his favorite bottle, but it was a good bottle to him. It was a bottle of Bel Air Blue. So we popped that bottle over his grave, and then we all just kind of sat outside, and just like chilled. Like, I got the blankets on my car. Always keep blankets in your car. So we sat outside, next to his grave, and we all just kind of chatted and reminisced is what I'm trying to say. All that good stuff. Um, and I just kept noticing bees, and it could have been because of the sugars in the champagne. But again, just noticing patterns, and I was like, bees. So I brought that up because in class the other day we were doing this exercise. It was like basically like an ink blot test, and I don't know if that was actually what it was called, because I'm not gonna hold you, I kind of be half-ass listening in class sometimes, because just the way my brain works, I be trying to listen and it just be going in and out too much, and I just can't keep up. So I think it was like an ink block test, but like not an ink block test anyway. So I did this, and my professor wanted us to do it in black first, and because you see it better. And so I did it, and this was the orientation. And so to me, this looks like some kind of like starfish, shellfish hybrid thing. Go maybe a leaf, now that I'm looking at it at a distance. Some kind of something. And then she said, but turn it around. And so when I turned it around, I immediately saw a bee. And then I like made this like audible like oh my god, and everybody was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And just got like really excited about that. And of course I have found I had looked more before that happened, though, before the ink blot test. I looked up the meaning of like a bee, or the significance of a bee, a reoccurring bee. and I did not send the source that I looked at myself. Let me see. Is this it? I don't think. Um, well, I don't think this is it. The one that I looked up on my phone, but I when I notice something keeps reoccurring, I look into like the spiritual meaning of it, and so it said that bees are signs of good luck. It means to pay attention to your intuition. It means a sign of a new opportunity, spiritual growth, feminine power, appreciating the small things in life, or a sign of protection. Um, and I think this was the same source. If not, if not the same source, it was the same idea. It was a positive thing. So I thought that was interesting, and to see that, it made me happy. And I was like kind of having a hard time processing his death because I was like, everybody was talking about the last time they saw him. And it was like a couple of days before. And the only reason why I'm not saying his name is because I want to be respectful of like the family and still letting people process. And it goes back to like, I don't want people to feel like their content for this purpose of me talking to you all. Um, I want things to still be private, and I want to allow people the time to grieve and process and all that. But I also, I mean, I'm talking about it because I'm also acknowledging my experience of like trying to handle it. So like, I know that I have like a more, for better or worse, advanced understanding of death or exception of death than most people. So like during this whole process, like a lot of people have been trying to process for themselves, and I've been having conversations with them, and trying to hold space. And I've had people like, are you okay, are you okay? And I'm like, I mean, I am. I feel my feelings as they come. Like if I feel like I need to cry, I will cry in that moment, no matter if I'm sad, mad, upset, or whatever. Like I'm just at the point where like, if I feel the tears come in, I'll let them drop, and I kind of assess of like, where is this coming from? Why do I feel this way? Blase, blase. Um, so I found myself holding space for a lot of other people because, as I've said before, um, whenever somebody passes, I think about the things that that person emulated that show light and love to me, and it's always been light and love. And so my friend had a beautiful smile, always smiling. Like I'm gonna miss that smile, but it's also ingrained in my head. But like all my friends were talking about the last time they saw them. It was like a couple of days here, like, oh, the day before or 2 days before or blah 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 whatever. And I'm like, I cannot remember, for whatever reason. I cannot remember the exact last time I saw him. And I felt some way about that at first, but then I keep having like flashbacks and memories of like us on FaceTime, or us like I'm driving down the street and I see him walking, hey, what's up? Or like I pull up to the crib and he's there, like, or he just pop up on us when we outside. Like I just keep having these random, or when I give him a ride home, like sometimes I'll look over in my passenger seat and I just envision him there, like, and I remember the conversations we had in the car on the front porch. And that was a little hard at first, but then I'm like, I'm glad that I don't have a last memory and that I have all these flashbacks, because I can true, and out of all the people that I lost, this one really does hurt. It really does, cuz I'm like, damn. I'm really not about to like, I'm not about to see you no more. And that's the part that's like hard for me to process a little bit. But then I keep having all these flashbacks, and I'm like, you're still here, you're still with me. So I brought up the bee part because it was like I noticed all these bees. And so I had looked into it and I had meaning to talk about it. And then at the funeral, I noticed the bees and I was like, you're still here. And so like now whenever I see bees, I be thinking about them. And so I know he's resting easy. But I'm going on a whole rant about death that be like depressing, but like I don't know, maybe somebody needs to hear that. And so, if you're processing a loss, as I always say, I'm sending you light and love. Um, I don't know if y'all watch. So like Disney Channel when I was young, Disney Channel was fucking lit, bro. Like That's So Raven, even Stevens, Kim Possible, and I ain't really watched Kim Possible like that. Um, Hannah Montana, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was just a Waverly Place. Like it was so in Sister Sister. Did I say Proud Family already? Like it was so many different shows. I could honestly go on, but also at the same time I don't really remember all of them. But Disney Channel when I was Cheetah Girls, Cheetahs just gotta do what you gotta do. If it's one thing y'all need to know about me, I'm a motherfucking cheetah girl through and through, baby. Okay? Cheetah Girls is my shit. I am Raven Simone, and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. I am her, okay? Like I am a cheetah girl. Actually, at my funeral, I want my urn to be a fucking cheetah print. And I want everybody to come dressed. Nah, y'all can't dress in cheetah print because I'm the cheetah girl. So well, y'all not gonna bury me. I want to be cremated. Anyway, off of death, Disney Channel. So Disney Channel was lit, and then it got to like this weird stage, and I really feel like it was after Wizards of I feel like Wizards of Waverly Place was like really the last good show, and it was just kind of like they were trying to find themselves. And then I can't remember for the life of me what the name of the show that Zendaya was on. But she was on a show, and I actually hated that show, but I like Zendaya or Zendaya, however you choose to say her name. But I'm in this moment right now, in the current state that I'm in, her name is Zendaya. So, cause her character's name was Rocky, and I didn't fuck with the show, but I fuck with her. So I'm really glad to see that she has grown as an actress the way she did. Um, but yeah, Disney Channel really had a sucky period, and it was like I just couldn't get with any of the shows. But Good Luck Charlie, oh baby, excuse me, Good Luck Charlie was my shit. I love that show so much. Um, and I was thinking about it because like Bridget Mendler, she played shit. I think her name was Teddy. Yeah, her name was Teddy. She was the older sister. In case anybody needs like a reference. And then the little girl's name was Charlie. And Bridget Miller, well, as Disney Channel does, they train you on how to sing. And Bridget Mendler made a whole album when I was in high school. Until this day, I still rock that shit out. And I just, like, sometimes I was thinking one day on one of my commutes to wherever the hell I was going, because I don't even be knowing half the time. But, I was like, damn, whatever fucking happened to Bridget Mendler? And then I had wrote it down, because that's the other, like, when I be trying to plan out the episodes, but at the same time, I don't want to, even though I be talking, I want to kind of have some kind of frame or purpose of whatever it is I'm talking about, or theme is what I was trying to say. Um, but then I also every now and then want to like, because I know I be talking about heavy topics at times, so I want to kind of just throw in like updates of my week. So I was in a car, and one of her songs came on, and I remember, shout out to my friend Chelsea. uh I was so convinced that I could sing, and so I tried to send her like a voice note of me singing alongside, and I was like, yeah, I sound good, da da da. And she was like, okay, like, if that's how you feel. ah, Chelsea. um so I was like, her one of her songs came on, so that kind of took me back to high school. And then I think like maybe a day or two later, I had saw something on my timeline, and they had showed, whenever I paint my right hand, cuz I'm right-handed, so whenever I have to paint my right hand with my left, I honestly just be painting, and I be hoping I don't be making it look too crazy, and then I go back in with a Q-tip and clean it. Uh, but yeah, the girl who played Charlie in Good Luck Charlie, the little girl, she graduated high school. I was like, hold up, cause she was a baby. I think it said she graduated high school. Yeah, or some, yeah. She graduated high school. Hold on, I put it in my. I'm sorry. I'm trying to paint my right hand. As I stated, I'm painting my nails blue, and then I saw this like holographic thing that seemed like a holographic paint that seems to have like a blue undertone. So, I'm gonna paint it on at least one of my nails, and hopefully it comes out right. Where's Instagram? Because I actually saved this. To. I need to respond to a lot of people actually. Um, where is my? No, is it archived? No, it's in my saved. Um, I have to finish editing these. I'm almost done packing for my trip. Oh yeah, I'm recording this right before my trip. Um, but I gotta finish editing these. Editing. I'm gonna season some chicken. I was gonna actually make the chicken when I got in the house, but y'all know episode mini-sode 7 and episode 7, it was noise in the background because my air fryer was on. That should be loud. So I was like, let me at least record the episode and then I'll do it. So I think I'm gonna make some chicken, but I also have some Pillsbury flaky biscuits. I saw this recipe and I'm looking at the picture right now. Somebody took the biscuits and cut them up and then like tossed them in brown sugar, powdered sugar, um, butter, some other shit, and then they made like basically they made more or less like cinnamon rolls out of the Pillsbury buttermilk biscuits, and that shit looks so good. Oh my god, like my eyes are in the back of my head. Speaking of eyes, I had I had this person reach out to me on one of my platforms, and they have like a face mouth fetish, so they wanted me to open my eyes really wide and open my mouth really wide. So that was an experience. But like what was crazy was he sent me these examples of like, oh, can you do this? And would you mind sending like a picture so I could see like if you can? And I was like, yeah, I got you. So I did it, but I put it behind like a paywall, and he was like, oh, can you send it without the pay feature? No, because you just asked me to do something, and so if you want to see it, like, you know how I had to go get my ring light and I had to sit here because I had sent, like, he wanted to be able to see like my gums and teeth. So I was like, I don't think I can actually open my mouth that wide. So I did it regularly, and it was even giving me tips like, oh, tilt your head back so your eyes look more open. So I did that, but I didn't feel like it was as good as like what he was looking for compared to the video that he sent me. So then, the speak out mouthpiece, I went and got that to open my mouth more. So I sent them the two pictures. So I did a lot, like I did extra shit to try to see if this is what you wanted. So I put it behind a paywall, the two pictures, and they weren't expensive. It was less than $15. And he was like, oh, can you send it without the paywall? No. So then he stopped responding to me. And then somebody else messaged me and was like, oh, hey, goddess. First of all, if you're going to message me, send tribute first. My tribute is $50. Like, don't just be messaging me. So he was like, hey, goddess. Or at least state your purpose. Like, I understand that not everybody's a financial stub, but don't be just coming in my DMs just trying to talk to me and say hi. Like, give me a purpose. And I don't, for anybody that's not in this work and you're like, oh, well, I'm not even trying to do that, whatever, the point is, if you're going to approach me with a purpose. Like, don't just give me the run, oh, hi, oh, you look so pretty, you look like, thank you, but like, I can get that elsewhere. And when there are people that are literally paying, and I'm not, there was another topic I wanted to talk about, was like conceited or being full of yourself, because like I've heard some people refer to other people in the industry that way because they move that way. But it's just like, honestly, truly, as y'all know, if y'all really listen, I'm busy. I just don't have time to just be talking to people, and I don't, like, I no longer feel bad about that because it's the reality of it. But it's like, if you're not at the end of the day, if you're not benefiting me in some way, and I do be getting overwhelmed and I have a lot on my plate, so it's not for everybody. But like your average nigga, your average motherfucker, if you're not in my DMs with a purpose and clearly stating your purpose, then yes, like what do you want? You're not paying me, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you. But like the people in this sub world, right? So this dude, he DM'd me, he's like, hi goddess, and I'm like, speaking without tribute, like not acceptable. With like you, it needs to be a good purpose. So then he was like, oh no, that's why I was actually messaging you, because I was gonna ask if I could send tribute. First of all, always the answer is always gonna be yes. Send that money, baby. Cash App, Temptress Mango. My initials $50. And he was like, oh, I was like, yeah, like of course. He was like, okay, great. Like this is my first time. Can I start with $10? I mean, you can start with $10, but understand you get what you pay for too. You're not about to get all of my time. You're not about to talk my head off. You can't even meet the minimum of $50, and you think, and that's like the part of like these subs be trying to sit here and talk your head off about like, oh, what kind of, like they're trying to get free conversation and free connection and free content essentially out of you. Like, no, you, just like everybody else is paying for this, you got to pay for this too. So like, you, we could sit here and I could talk to you all day about this, that, and the third, but understand that my time is money. So he was like, oh, can I pay $10? And I was like, I mean, you can pay $10, but realize you gonna get $10 worth of energy from me, which is little to nothing. And I was like, you could try sending $10 times five. And he was like, please, please, can I start with 10? I told you what I told you. You could start with 10, but if you send $10, realize until I get $50, you're not gonna get another response from me. So if you want to send $10 today, tomorrow, the next day, so on and so forth, or maybe the next week, that's up to you. But until I get $50 from you, I'm not talking to you. He blocked me, which I respect it. I get it, but like also you need to respect it, and I guess you blocking me was respecting it. How did I get here? I started looking up. I was looking for, oh, I can unsave this because I already talked about this. I was looking for, I know I saved it. I know I did. Here it is. So the baby from Good Luck Charlie, Mia Talarico, um Talaricio, I don't really know. But she, oh, that's what it was. She started high school this year, cuz I was like, it's no way that she didn't, that she graduated. But yeah, she started high school this year, and I just thought it was crazy that like I was just listening to Charlie, and then I was listening to Bridget Mendler, who played Teddy, and then you popped up on my timeline. She's a beautiful young lady. I wish her the best of success in her life. Um, but yeah, that's all I got to say. I think I touched everything, and honestly, I've been rambling. Um, and I gotta finish packing. For the most part, I did. It's like the little stuff that I need to finish packing, and then I just need to get a couple more things in order. It's 11:46. I'm supposed to go get Dixie at 3. I told her I would be there between 3:30 and 3:45 so we could head to the airport. But yeah. Mango's message. Make good bad choices. Cause I made some good bad choices today. My ear hurts. Follow your intuition. Notice, like, become more self-aware. Follow, like, listen to what is going. And I know not everybody's spiritual and things, but I do think it's worth something. We were talking about this in class last night about like dreams, and looking into the theory and talking about like Freud and psychoanalytic and and all of really interesting stuff. But um even if you're not like spiritual or whatever, I do think like if you do notice something over and over and over, it doesn't hurt to look it up just to get like kind of like a better idea. And maybe you could find, because there's so many sources, the internet and knowledge is so expansive, and of course you want to vet and make sure whatever information, if you're, especially if you're going to be spewing it out to other people, that it is accurate or backed by some kind of credentials or something. But what's our booking number? Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I'm recording. I'll look. Ooh. I'll look it up when I'm done. I'm almost done. This bitch found it. LMAO. Never mind. Period. Okay. Um. Who texted me? Oh, okay. Um. Yeah, even if you're not spiritual, I do think like it doesn't hurt to look into patterns, and everybody resonates with something else. So like everybody might have a different opinion on it. So you could just kind of look at the different things. Cause like even with the bee stuff, cause that was more so into like the threes, but like the bees, threes, bees, looking into all of that. Um, while I might not agree with everything or I don't think everything makes as much sense, there definitely are some pieces. It's like, okay, I see that. I see where that's coming from. Um, discernment always and forever, but just like thinking about where I'm in life and how other people fit into my life, because I do think that things are transactional, and because I'm in so many different spaces that I'm in now, I just kind of like, and I hate to have to do it, but it's just the reality of where I'm at and what I've experienced with certain people is having to kind of like look at some things as transactional, and that doesn't always mean money. That doesn't, it means like, I'm serving you. How, girl, you asking me a lot of questions that I don't know the answer to, but that like realistically you probably should be asking me the question. I'm sorry, y'all. Dixie is texting me about like stuff about the cruise, and honestly, in this moment, I'm trying to paint my nails. I'm not really drunk no more, but I'm trying to wrap this podcast up. I'm almost done, I promise you. But she keep asking me all these questions about booking numbers and ship names and bitch, I don't fucking know. I don't know. This is why I can't keep being the planner for things. When is somebody gonna plan a trip for me? But I'm the planner because I don't really be trusting my friends to plan stuff because I'm hyper independent. But that's another episode for another day. Um, trusting your intuition, discernment, just trying to kind of like think about people's motivations. Everything's transactional. How am I serving you? How am I serving me? That doesn't always, or how, yes. How are you serving me? How am I serving you? That doesn't always mean monetarily. That just could just kind of mean in general. Like, how are we both, what are we both gaining or benefiting personally, emotionally, mentally, maybe monetarily from being present in each other's lives? And I've always been, I love family. I'm fairly family oriented, and my family for me includes friends. Um, and I just don't want people to feel like I'm using them, and I don't want to feel used. Nobody wants to feel used. So looking at myself is more of a podcast, but also looking at other people, like respecting their space and their boundaries, and not putting them in a position to make them feel like they're just in my life, or they can't trust in me because they're in fear that I'm gonna like blast them on a podcast or whatever. um y'all read y'all syllabuses and y'all student handbooks. um and shout out to Disney Channel when y'all, what happened, oh, I didn't finish painting that nail. I don't like how my nails look, and I'm actually a little bit heated at how this came out, so I'll figure it out. Anyway, y'all be safe, make good choices. This whole time I've been kind of sitting. I hope I didn't say any funny. I hope I didn't say anything funny that was in front of the mic, because I've been like slouching, and the mic is right in front of my face. But y'all be safe, make good choices. At this time, I am deboarding the boat and headed back home, and I can tell you right now, I had a motherfucking blast.